Okay, wait, hold on. Let me make sure this shit can really be sat right here. All the camera space. Maybe. That's good enough. Okay. I finally washed my hair for the first time in I don't even know how long, but I always kind of dislike washing my hair in the shower, and I did it anyway because I bought a new shampoo and conditioner, and that is for maximum moisture because I haven't been really moisturizing my hair either. I always love the way that I look when I wash my hair, so this shit is amazing, and I have the most beautiful hair in the world. This is Cream of Nature Pure Honey leave-in conditioner. I only really use it when I wash my hair to really like seal in what I got after I washed it. And as you can see, I have so much of it. It's so long though, oh my god. I can't wait to retwist it after not having retwisted it for 4 fucking months or so, maybe even more at this point. But that's why the lock journey is a journey, because then I will just look back on this and go, I remember when I was working so hard and when I was, you know, dealing with all this shit going on in my life, and now I have, and I used to like neglect myself and like not do my hair and, you know, feel not beautiful and, you know, feel just like shit. And now I can confidently say, at least with my hair being washed, because it needs to be washed so fucking bad, that I feel beautiful. And what I do like about locks is that I have been able to survive in my periods of not really. I'm glad I got locks when I did, because entering this period of my life, if I still had to do like my braids and like my goddamn like just natural hair right now, well, this is my natural hair, but like, you know what I mean, I love my curls. Like, I'm addicted to braids for real, and I want to do something with my locks soon that's kind of like extension-y, just because I think the art of doing so is so fun, but hasn't really been the time period. But they still look good, like, despite, you know, being a little neglectful towards the job. But I guess I wanted to sit here and finally talk to the camera, because for so fucking long I had been intending to do so, especially since my 24th birthday just passed, and I'm like really redefining. Yes, everything that I say is in the like reference of astrology, and so the age of 24 is a first house perfection year, and even before 24 really met up with me, I had realized that a lot of things dealing with self-identity and the way that I even like affirm myself and my self-identity was definitely becoming more and more apparent. And it doesn't really help that my first house is in Virgo, so I've gotten just more and more picky about myself as the years go by, which is probably, you know, like my main, I don't know, my main life journey as of right now is definitely about, oh, this is Wild Growth hair oil. My favorite. I will probably be using this stuff for the rest of my life, other than like Blue Magic and stuff. But turning 24 has like killed me for the past couple of weeks, maybe even weeks leading up to it, because it's like I've always had, you know, like I've always had issues and I've always had issues and qualms and battles within myself about things like my personal identity, you know, who I am expressing myself out to be in the world, especially when it comes to things like beauty and femininity and being a woman. Like, that has never really been an easy concept for me. I grew up in such a like rejection of these ideas because I wasn't comfortable with it. Like, I always just took a step back from them. It was, mind you, it was not hard to do because I played soccer. So at the end of the day, like, being a tomboy was playing life on easy mode, where other aspects of my life were definitely in a harder mode. But now that I am 24, and now that I have grown up a little bit and even expressed my femininity in ways that are different from like what me at age 12 would think of, it has been a bit of a battle, because now that I'm like reaching a point where I want to change certain things about myself, it seems increasingly difficult to do so because of other statuses and other circumstances in my life. There are definitely like standards that I have that like I can tell are being changed or like being evolved. And even like before I turned 24, the latter half of 23, probably because it's a 12th house perfection year and I have it in Leo, like, has really inflated the way that I am thinking about and like trying to understand my self-expression and the way that I am mirroring and like portraying myself to the world, right? And it's come with a lot of friction. Like, I feel like tension and friction are two words that describe really well exactly what I've been feeling lately. And it's disconcerting to me because I don't like those two feelings in my body. Like, I don't like to feel like I'm in a fight to just express myself all the time. And I realized that low-key, like, that was the way that I grew up and that was the way that I was raised, but like, it's just very difficult to be in a place right now where I feel such an overt desire to put myself out into the world and to express myself and to like be a certain version of me, and the fight never ends. Like, the fight still continues, and it has just been an extremely difficult transitionary period right now. Mind you, my birthday was July 2nd, so it has not even been a month of being 24. I feel like I do so much preparing to express myself. Like, I even have a little fucking list that I made for this video. You can't even see it good, but I wrote this list probably like 3 weeks ago, like right after my birthday or so. And it's like, writing the list is fine. But if it is gonna sit here and like not be used for its intended purpose, what the fuck am I doing any of this list writing for? I don't know. Things like that like baffle me now, because I'm doing so much preparatory work for what, and then still not feeling prepared for the things that I feel like I want and the things that I feel like are coming for me. And that is ridiculous. Let's see what's on this list though, so I can I'll just read it off, and then I will throw it on my bed right here, and I will just say and speak from the heart and speak from the newly washed mind. I truly believe that the demons were talking to me through unwashed hair. That definitely always happens to me. I don't know why. Locks has taught me that for real. Like, if I neglect doing my hair, if I, don't touch this, don't care for this, don't wash this, don't like anything pertaining to my hair, especially washing, I don't wash all the weeks or shit. At this point, it was probably like a month or two. I don't wash all that out from my crown. It just seeps into the body. And it just makes me like fucking bonkers. Or it makes me like, no wonder I feel so blocked expressionally. I can't even, because my hair's fucking dirty. Anyway, let's read this off. What to talk to the camera about? A series on being 24. I'm 24 now. What does that mean? A year of joy, of getting reverb from the universe. Okay, I like that. The struggle with self-expression I've had, how 24 could help me win the battle. It's crazy, because I didn't even really read this back, and I was already saying the word battle. Goofy versus complaining people. That's a lesson from 23 that I will get into. The importance of play, which is why I just set this camera up to just talk to it, and after this I will probably paint something. Some current goals, interests, and more irritations of mine. Interesting irritations is put in there. I don't know. We'll see where that leads. And setting a deep intention as to why I'm vlogging my thoughts and intentions for 24 years old in general. And then below it, I have the random scribbled next appointment that I have with my psychiatrist. But even then, like, it's weird having to take a breath and like assess what I want to say all the time, because for my 24th birthday, I swear I just did not know what I wanted to do. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, Saya, what are you doing for your 24th birthday? I'm like, guys, I don't know. And then push came to shove, the time came when the work schedule was supposed to come out. I'm scheduled on my birthday. I said, fuck, I really don't feel like working on my birthday anymore. At first, when the schedule came out, I was like okay with it. I was like, okay, like I can work on my birthday. Like, it was on a big fat Thursday. I had that weekend. Like, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I wasn't really like pressed about it. And then that day just started creeping closer and closer and closer, and I was like, this is not me. Like, I think that was the first like instinct that I had when actually thinking about it, was I was like, this like dismissal of my birthday is not naturally me. I love people's birthdays. When I ask people when their birthday is, yes, I'm trying to get your sun sign, but I also am trying to get your birthday so I can put it in my mental count. My purpose for getting your sun sign is so that when that season rolls around, I have a good list of people I know in my head whose birthdays are coming up, so I can celebrate them. It's not just about psychoanalyzing you. It's not just about getting your chart. It's not just about being like, oh, you're a so-and-so. Like, okay. I am too deep into this to keep having preconceived notions and elementary opinions about each sign. What I want to know is when your birthday is so I can celebrate it for you. And not having that same energy for my birthday this year was a big indicator for me that something was afoot and that my personal identity was shifting. Especially not because I think my personal identity was shifting towards being more nonchalant about my birthday, but I think my personal identity was shifting in being able to notice like that this like lack of effort that I'm putting into myself does not feel natural, does not feel conducive to who I am as a person. Like, it is not going to be a step towards actualizing the Saya that I actually want to be. Like, I'm even like deterred from saying in the future, because it's not really like right now. I'm just gonna be honest with you, looking at my washed hair, I'm like, yeah, that was it. Like, that probably was really all you needed to do in order to be the beautiful, sexy, attractive, like expressive me that I needed to be. Like, easy peasy, right? It won't even that far in the future. I just randomly chose to do it today, and now look at the material, right? But so I managed to get my birthday off. Shout out Victory. I appreciate you. You are the GOAT. Because I didn't know. And that also is something that has been really interesting to me lately, because for someone who is so knowledgeable, and for someone who like cares very deeply about being factual and like being in the know, this idea that like I never really know what I want, or like I never really know what I want to do, I never really know exactly how I want to express myself, or like I never really know who I want to be, is disconcerting. It started to just scratch at a certain part of me that I'm feeling like maybe is my heart, but like that under heart, like diaphragmatic area has been feeling real tense and tight lately, because I realized like the core of my being and the core of my self-expression was being compromised. And so for my birthday that day, even though I still didn't really know what I wanted to do, I did know ahead of time that I wanted people to send me something that they saw that was the color yellow, because yellow is my favorite color, and I think yellow could be used like in this world more often. You know, it's not even that I think it's like under you. Like, there's yellow on my shirt. That's because the high school I went to had yellow in it. Like, the college I went to had yellow in their logo. Yellow is used, but I think the overall purpose of yellow is maybe underutilized and not as understood. Because, you know, people will be like, blue for relaxation, red for energy and anger, and yellow is associated with the solar plexus chakra, but like nobody really, or I'm not gonna say nobody, the general public doesn't really know what yellow does. And so I went all out for my birthday. I was dressed in yellow. I had people sending me yellow things. I had people getting me yellow gifts. I was like, I shared this birthday with the color yellow this year, because I desperately feel like there is more joy that needs to be had in my life. I desperately feel like there is more expression that needs to be had in my life. I feel as though for 24, like, especially this being a first house perfection year, that I am the sun, which is also seen as yellow sometimes. I'm the center of attention right now. I am the core part of expression right now. And so when I talk about a year of joy and of getting reverb from the universe, right now I'm reading a book on Qigong meditation. I read a lot of like metaphysical self-help, even fiction books like The Story of Bee that I'm reading right now, like that talk about people's just thought process and how the internal is very much reflected and exemplified in the external, and that if I was gonna interact with the world like I want to interact with the world, and really like I want the world to interact with me, I have to be, you know, EMF, like an electromagnetic force. I need to be something that is causing the atoms in other people and other things to keep shaking, to keep reacting. Like, it is a year of not being afraid of being a catalyst for something. And I realized that that wasn't going to come instantaneously, because even now, as I'm in the shower, like, I'm listening to a podcast, and it's about, like, settling, and I realized that, yeah, I think I settle for a lack of genuine, authentic expression at the expense of, my mind wanted to say being in the right, which I think is a subset, but it's not that I really care about being in the right. It's that I'm very much mediator energy. Maybe the word that's coming in my head is idealistic. Maybe idealistic in human interactions, right? Cancer, 11th house, there is harmony to be had in humanity. And I desperately want that. But harmony, now that I think about it, like, when you harmonize, it's not just one nigga singing. It's two. Like, harmonizing is being on different frequencies but the same note. And so if I'm trying to, promote and create joy and harmony in the world, but I'm staying silent, I'm letting everything else speak for me instead of really singing my own tune and, like, parsing who's harmonizing with me. And I guess that is, like, this discordance, this, like, disharmony that I've been feeling in an area that rightfully so is probably my solar plexus, is why I wanted to just inundate myself with yellow for my birthday. And I wanted everyone to just think about the color yellow, maybe, like, more than they usually do in their day-to-day. I feel like red and blue really take the popularity eye candy cake. And even green, like, I have huge reverence for the color green because it is everywhere in our natural world. Like, green is the key color for understanding connection, groundedness, like, the wealth of the natural force of the universe. But at the end of the day, without yellow, there's really nothing catching the eye. And maybe even what I like about yellow is that sometimes it makes you avert the it's too bright, bam, gotcha. Like, I love that about the color yellow. It will always be a staple in whatever it's in. I've never seen yellow be the color that, like, doesn't make the thing what it is when it's in it. And maybe that's why some people don't really use the color yellow, or, like, have qualms with the color yellow, because it's too forward or, like, too attention grabbing. But let's not forget that yellow is a primary color, so you need yellow regardless. Just like you can do all this working, all this hard, like, red energy. You can also just sit on your ass all day and kind of mellow out this blue energy. But, like, at the end of the day, yellow is what's really gonna get you thinking about, like, who you are in the center. Like, I feel like yellow is just a really good centering color, And I could go on forever about the color yellow, and I probably, now that I think about it, like, will paint a little something in tribute to the color yellow, because painters like Buford Delaney, like, knew how to use the color yellow, and I very much appreciate him for that, because the way that he used yellow is beautiful. Yellow's such a good highlighting color. And so I think incorporating that idea of joy not being something that is super energizing, or joy not being something that is mellowing you out, but being a centeredness of, like, a good foundation for a triumphant spirit. You know, like, I want to go through the next year of my life being 24 before I turn 25, before the big brain click and I get to my second house perfection year and I'm worried about like Libra things, which I will think about later. But for 24, I just want to be shining, like authentically myself. The star card, like that's what I think of. Even the sun, I'll take, like the Empress energy. Just being there to be a good foundation of joy for myself and for humanity. And I guess connecting it, like one way that I can do that is to not shy away from giving myself my full, like maybe even, I'm not gonna lie to you, inflated self to the world. Like I was saying, yellow doesn't really shy away from being the color that catches your eye, but it is such a good complementary color to bring things together. And so, same with my intention of being a mediator and of being someone who wants to promote joy and harmony in the world. I can't be afraid to like be looked at or be, you know, like rubbed up against anatomically, not on the smallest scale of energy. Like I can't be afraid of like being affected or really, because I'm not afraid of being affected, but I do think I'm afraid of affecting, because in a lot of my life when I was affecting it, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you, and this is why I'm talking to the camera right now, sometimes I feel like I want to be affecting and then like disappear, like just, and I almost want someone to be like, who did that? Oh, my life has changed, but I don't even remember like who changed my life. And as much as like disappearing off the face of the earth after like saving it sounds kind of cool. I don't even know if y'all heard that. Sounds kind of cool. It just is not reality. That's the biggest thing, is I feel like I'm getting a lot of reality checks as well. I guess I could go into the goofy versus complaining people thing to really dig into like the reality check of it all, because the year 23 and why I was emphasizing joy so much on my birthday this year was aggravating, to say the least. And I realize it's because I have come in contact with so many people in my life who just, and I want to toe this topic lightly because there is always going to be time and place and space made for objections, right? For objectionary feelings, for objectionary opinions, for, you know, disagreements, for conflict, for the rub, you know, things that are, like we were saying, like disharmonious with you and that you would like to change. And I'm not even saying that it necessarily is a, you know, I'm faced with that and then I'm like, all right, what are you gonna do about it type of thing immediately. Because like, I will always want to be helpful and like be there and be emotionally resonant with someone. But like, it gets to a point where I'm like, now I can tell that your foundation of joy is crumbling at the seams. Like, you can express dissatisfaction without being a complainy person because you're still holding that nugget of inherent joy within yourself that can get you through whatever it is you're complaining about. But when it's just day after day, you come in that house, you sigh, you hate your life, you yada, yada, yada. It gets to a point where I'm like, all your jokes are self-deprecation, and that's not what I'm into. I grew out of self-deprecation damn near a decade ago. Like, and that's not even me saying that because I'm feeling holier than thou about never really self-deprecating myself, but like, if there's something that I have wrong about myself, I'm just going to take that nugget and I'm gonna fix it, or at least I'm gonna try to get comfortable with it until I can do something about it. But to sit here and continue to perpetuate the idea that like nothing is good enough for you in this world is disconcerting to my spirit. And so the age of 23 taught me that like, if there are any complaints about myself that I do have, and my Virgo risingness, like being picky about who I am, what I'm doing, what career I'm going down, not graduating college, like all these little things that I could be picky at myself about being, at the end of the day, I can confidently say though that I am not a complaining person. And I did have a battle with that at some point though, because I was like, it's the same thing as like, am I not expressing myself enough? Am I not really like analyzing myself enough? Am I not like willing to express discomfort in moments that I am feeling discomfort? And while that is something that I also am working on, I also realize that like I don't gotta like just hate my life or like be a complaining person in order to do so. I can have the duality of, you know, maybe being dissatisfied in certain parts of my life while also taking the things that I love and keeping that foundation of joy strong. And if anything, if I give myself more to the world, I'm sure I can find more thing to love, just the same as I can find more things to complain about. So 24, I'm trying to get goofier, I'm trying to get more expressive, see, that's the thing too, is I'm not trying to go back and keep analyzing what the hell I'm saying in every moment. If I say, you know, in one moment I'm trying to blah blah blah, and then I realize that maybe, you know, for all the law of attractioners out there and stuff, that I should be saying I am, or I should be saying I will. That's all fine and dandy, and it's actually like a correct assertion, and like you should speak about yourself in more present moment like confidence. But at the end of the day, like, I'm growing, I'm naturally expressing myself, and I'm trying to get rid of what I like to call the 5 filters in my head, where it seems difficult to get my thoughts straight out of my mouth because I have to like filter or like vet everything that I am expressing. I'm not doing that anymore. So even things like correcting myself, I'm gonna tamper down a little bit, because I said what I said. On the list. I said I wasn't gonna go back to the list, but I am going back to the list because I do like having an outline of what I'm talking about. Because that's just me. The importance of play. Difficult. That's all I have to say about that, really. But I brought my little pet shop stuff out of my parents' attic. Like, play has been extremely important to me my whole life because I played a sport. I played soccer, and even when I was playing soccer, I started to play travel one season, and I was like, this is too serious. Like, they're acting like this is about to like change my life, or like this is like my one way, out of the hood, or like that I'm like gonna be a failure if I don't like do well here. And I was so confused because I was like, this is travel soccer, and I just would play soccer to have fun. Soccer was fun to me. Soccer was a game because like it's an actual game. Okay, if that dies, that dies. Anyway, what was I saying? Play is very important to me because soccer was, I felt like, a moment where I could be extremely playful. Now, what has been hard about that is I'm also a very serious individual. Not because I like can't have fun, but hold on, let's. Not because I can't have fun, but because like I take things very seriously. Like when I was playing Lil's Pet Shop as a kid, I was taking it seriously because I enjoyed it, and so I was going to take it seriously. And by taking it seriously, I guess I mean like give it my all. But now that I say that, I think something that was difficult for me was in giving my all. I started to give my all just to like career growth and like just to like getting more money, or like giving my all like just to my placement in this world. And I wasn't really giving my all to like myself. I wasn't giving my all to celebration. I wasn't giving my all to having fun. I wasn't giving my all to like be expressiveness and like freedom. And so it definitely started to feel like all work and no play makes Saya, finish the phrase. But that is changing, because all work and no play, other than the phrase, makes my body hurt. Like, if I'm working so much and I can't even sit here and like play on my yoga mat for a little bit that I paid a lot of money for, what am I doing? What am I doing? If my only version of play in my life has to be through sports and Littlest Pet Shops, like, where did we lose the definition of fun and of play here? And so for 24, that's a core tenet of 24 is playfulness, which I'm gonna have to do some research and reading about. I will admit that the concept of fun and play has snuck its way out of my body lexicon for a little bit. I will admit. It's been a while. Like, I haven't exercised that muscle in a while. One thing that I can confidently say is pretty close to that, though, is I do enjoy reading tarot. And so when I do read tarot, I am feeling people like are very appreciative of what I do, and like I do, get paid to do it sometimes. But at the end of the day, I just very much enjoy doing it. I think it's great writing practice. I think it's great thinking practice. Like, one thing that I love is connecting concepts, connecting ideas, connecting thoughts that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been connected with each other. I used to do this thing on my Instagram story where I'd be like, give me two things to connect, and I promise you I can connect them without you even like knowing how I'm gonna connect the two. And I would do it on a whiteboard and everything. I would take a picture and I would post it on my story, and everybody would be like, wow, you're so crazy, like what even, but whoa, how did you do that? I'm like, I know, but it was fun. Like shit like that makes me, you know, a little enthusiastic, like a little enthralled in it. Wordplay, fun, enthralling. Word puzzles, like fun, enthralling. And you know, this concept of like play and like what a playful Saya means or 24, I think can be fully like aided by this idea of self-exploration and who I am as a person. Because if I find shit like Myrtle fun, who in this world is gonna tell me that that is not fun? Some people don't find all the nerdy puzzles fun. Guess what? I do. And that's why I do Sudoku. So, Sudoku? I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. I'm sorry. But I think it's fun. And you know what else I think is fun? Reading books. Reading fiction. It's fun to me. I get a good feeling in my heart when I'm reading good books. Literature, too. Literature is even fun. I know literature can read as being something a little serious and a little something you should be taking, you know, academically, but guess what? I find academics fun. So, my exploration of fun, I feel like too, is only gonna further reinforce the things that I find fun and not really make me go, well, all that boring shit is out of the window, let's go like binge drinking, because I now think that's fun. I might pick up, you know, going out more, but I also will forever think like Myrtle is fun. So that I feel like is another like dance I'm having. I feel like now that I'm expressing this out verbally on camera and like talking to myself a little bit, I realize that it's really just like a dance and not really a battle. You know, I feel like in tarot, when you're in the 5 in any of the suits, like it talks about a battle of sorts, but every single one of those cards, every single one of those 5s is not just a battle, but it's indicative of a battle that like should not even really be happening, or like there's another factor to it where like you're ignoring something else that is making you battle in the first place, and so you don't necessarily need to be battling. And so when you get to the 6 of any of the suits, like you finally realize what that winning part is and like what that winning token is. And the suit of 6 is low-key, now that I think about it, could probably be related to dance, because I'm no longer in a battle with my self-concept, my self-actualization, like understanding who I am and who I want to be. It's a dance. I got so tired of like feeling like, you know, oh, I don't know how to do my makeup. Oh my god, I don't know how to do my makeup. You know, my hair hasn't been done for the past 4 or 5 months. Like, you know, I haven't gotten a mani-pedi in forever because I, you know, I'm broke all the time and I gotta work to survive and I'm always at work, and just this constant battle of like, I'm never being who I want to be in the moment. The whole time, that's because I wasn't really moving, you know? Like, you can never really move towards who you want to be in the future if you're never really moving in the first place, and you're just kind of sitting there and being like, oh, the conditions are not matching what the graph says it's supposed to be. That's how my brain works most of the time, and I blame, and if you know me, you know I'll always put this as the blame. More as a joke. Like I got a piano in the back. I could tap into music whenever I want to tap into music, which will probably be very, very soon. But like taking me out of chorus in the 6th grade to put me in science enrichment because you need more black women in STEM kind of did a number on me, because now I'm much more scientifically brained than I intuitively feel like I want to be, because that part of me like still does exist. I just picked up a math book like the other day. I love science, I love math, I love like all the engineering. I think architecture is very interesting. But what's crazy is when you grow up and then you read so many books and you really identify with like being a writer your whole life, and now only within maybe the past 2 years or so, after you dropped your anthropology major and replaced it with English and then dropped out of college and all that good stuff, now I'm really like taking the writer label and making it stick and making like a strong foundation for it. The art side of myself has always been there. And so, like, the dance, it doesn't always have to be so tactical. And so, what is our battle plan? Like, what is our game plan for implementing lashes every day into my daily routine? And then what is we lost the battle of shaving legs, but we can win the battle of Brazilian wax. What am I talking about? Like, what does any of that mean? It's a dance. Hey, it's a dance, because now I can confidently say, I move here, I move here, I do this, and it all is within rhythm of who I am as a person. None of it feels like life or death. None of it feels like, I am waging war on the enemy, because guess what? They're realistically, like, I feel as though, put a asterisk on this statement, and those who know, but like, when it comes to self-concept and it comes to like attaining your goals in your life, there is no enemy per se. I have been fighting this idea of like burnout and survival mode, and even low-key like fighting this idea of having a lack of self-expression for a very long time. And I realized that if I keep trying to sit here and like make a game plan as to how I'm gonna do so, and like what it all means, and like, am I winning the war of personal gain, like, none of that feels fulfilling. Like, none of that feels like I'm really doing anything. But like waking up one morning randomly and being like, today's the day I'm gonna wash my hair. Even if I don't retwist it, because I still, like, for some reason can't really muster up the energy to retwist my hair right now, at least it is washed. And guess what? I love the way it looks. And now that I love the way my hair looks again, I'm feeling much more motivated to like retwist it this weekend. So just I feel like it's congruent to like the complaining people thing I was talking about, but like just continuing to be at opposition of what I am desiring for myself is starting to feel like a job within itself. And that is tiring. Like, that is, I feel like, is where I'm just continuing to like sit in burnout energy, and why 23 just felt so tiring. Because, you know, other, like, in addition to not really asserting myself this way and like putting my power out into the world, I'm also sitting here and like idling on like whether I am what I say I am, or I'm not what I say I am, or like how can I be what I say I am. Who was it? Descartes? Hold on, let's look this up so I don't it is Descartes. I think, therefore I am. And what's crazy about me too, I think, is that I hold my mental power and like my thinking ability in such a high regard. If there's anything I'll meat ride myself for, it's my brain. It's my brain. Like, I think I am one of the smartest individuals as of right now. And that's not even to say like I am smarter than I am smarter than X, Y, and Z, or I'm smarter than, you know, this person, and this person. But me, myself, I think that I am an incredibly intelligent individual. And I pride myself on such. I was just talking about how I think academia is fun. I think, therefore, I am a nerd, right? But then, when it comes to things that are not quite cerebral, I tighten up and I clog up, because someone will ask me like how I'm feeling about something. Hold on, I gotta pause. Alright, low-key, I don't even really remember what I was talking about before my little brother called me. So actually, I think I will cut it there. I think a lot has already been said, and just as much as I care about the expression of myself, I also care about knowing when it's time to say goodbye, or knowing when it's time to shut the hell up, right? I will conclude this with some, every new moon, I do like a little new moon card of affirmations, and then for every moon phase, I pull like tarot cards to see what the kind of the energetic feel or like the energetic theme is going to be. And usually like I don't check it regularly, so when something is going on and I do check it, I'm like, oh, there it is, like there it goes. So it's not really like prescriptive of my life. But my affirmations, I always write affirmations for each new moon cycle, and the ones for this moon are new moon in Cancer. Hey, shout out Cancer, that's me. I have absolutely no fear. I'm ready for valuable change. My feelings, thoughts, opinions, and voice matter. My body is just as engaged as my mind. And the first one, low-key, I was like, is that right? Like, should that be an affirmation of mine? Because like fear is very natural. Fear is biological. Like our lizard brain uses fear and like the fear receptors to like compel us to, you know, act and compel us toward safety. But fear, I also have noticed, has just done nothing but hinder me. And if there's one thing that like self-expression cannot coexist with, if there's something that is not harmonious with authentic self-expression, it is fear. And so I have absolutely no fear being an affirmation. It's not that like I am not afraid of anything, or that like the fear sensation does not come to me anymore, but that fear like just does not control how I go about living my life anymore. Because I feel like my primary area of fear is closely attached to that self-expression piece that I am so closely working on right now, because I, like I was saying earlier, like am afraid to be like something, or like cause something, or affect something, or just kind of spark up anything, you know? And so that's why the next one is I'm ready for valuable change, because I feel like I am wanting change, action, and a shift so bad, but in my feelings, thoughts, and opinions and voice matter, that change has to come from me enacting change and not being afraid to enact change in the world, right? Like magician energy. And with my body is just as engaged as my mind, it's just as I was talking about when it comes to intellect. Like there are certain things, I guess that's what I was talking about before I turned the camera on. There are certain things that I just will have to feel and feel out. And so when someone asks me how I feel about something, I don't know, has never really been an acceptable answer to me, but it's really not going to be acceptable to me anymore. And I'm just going to have to engage with my emotions and my feelings and my heart and like my solar plexus center as it comes. It's not, creating the perfect game plan or tailored answer, or, like trying to cater to anything outside of myself except for my own self-expression. And that is what is going to create, more harmonious relationships with people, more harmonious friendships, more harmonious things in this world, and probably like a more harmonious relationship with writing, with painting, with fun, with the things that I create. I was just thinking yesterday that like I like walked into my bathroom and I was like, hey bathroom, and then I went, hey Saya, and I realized that I very much enjoy making anything my friend. Like even out in nature, like the leaves will get a hi, the trees will get a hi, the clouds will get a hi, hello, anything, a little caterpillar, the river will get a hi. Like anything in this world can be my friend. And so in engaging with that mindset of joyfulness and friendliness for the year of being 24, like, is so crucial to me. And my boyfriend was like, that's what Elmo does. And I was like, exactly. And I'm trying to be more like Elmo. Okay? Because my body needs to be just as engaged in everything as my mind is. I am not just cerebral. Like I am not just up in the air and just letting everything circulate. Like at a certain point, I can take all that and I can go and I can pick something and I can maybe even bite its head off and like chew on it for a little bit and really acknowledge everything that even like having a lovely relationship with my camera here. Like my camera is my friend. And that's why I'm talking the way I'm talking, because in order to get myself to do this, I was like, I should just talk to myself. And so if I consider myself a friend, who knows what that can blossom in my life? Who knows what I'm going to write when I consider writing a friend of mine instead of just something that I do or something that I have to do, or even like art that I do. Considering my art, my friend, is very essential to me in this year of my life. When they talk about one of my favorite like gospel songs is I Am a Friend of God, and I always thought that was so interesting because I'm like, we in American like evangelical Christianity have been raised to think of God as our father, as this head of the household figure, someone who is, or something. The omnipotence is always on a thin line, but like something about God is emitting power, something about God is emitting status, something about God is emitting destiny. So it was always like bizarre to me to hear this song, which I loved, bringing what I thought was bringing God down to like friendship status, mostly because friendship was also not really modeled to me in my life as something that was a key essential as to what keeps us connected as human beings, because we are interconnected, interwoven creatures who need other interactions with human beings. But I don't know that like the true value of friendship was really modeled or exemplified in my lifetime for a while, because like people at the end of the day, if we're still thinking about this framework of American evangelical Christianity, like people were not going to be conducive to what gets you to heaven, like we're not going to be conducive to your salvation or your idea of transcending the condition of just being human. But in making God and considering God a friend, if you think about God in the way of being equivalent to like ki, bioelectricity, the natural moving force of the universe that propels all of this to happen, and also propels all of us to have a reaction to something at all times, and that is what's keeping us moving and what is turning the wheel. God, of course God is my friend. Like, of course God has to be my friend. And if God is everything, if God is, the medium of my camera in order to get my thoughts out, in order to practice expressing myself more, if God is a pen that feels good in my hand, if God is my thoughts that I put down onto the page, and I consider that my friend, then I'm considering all of the forces of life my friend. And that creates such a strong, joyful, foundational perspective in my mind that will probably completely radicalize the way that I go about my life being 24. So I'm very excited about that, honestly. I definitely was. It's taken me a long time to just open this camera up and talk and say something, and I have plenty of videos and things that I want to do in this desk area that really, I'm not gonna lie to you, doesn't involve much editing. Like, right now I'm not really into wanting to do much of like the editing type of stuff. I just kind of want to talk and like give y'all what I'm thinking and like promote thought and discussion and feeling and resonance and understanding in the world. But I used to think that it was like that I wasn't ready, or like I wasn't prepared. I didn't really know how to edit things. That was preventing me. And I also used to think that it was like, I don't have very many camera skills. Right now, this is not on a tripod. This is on a body like roller, a tall body roller, and then a yoga block just to get it leveled here, and then a tin of something holding my camera up. All of those like conditions of not being prepared low-key was what I thought was holding me back, and they were holding me back to a certain extent. But what it really was that I didn't have like a relationship and a friendship with the idea of creating, like with the idea of just expressing myself. And that made me more uncomfortable than not really knowing how to edit, or not really like having any of the camera skills, because in my mind, like in my highly cerebral head, I know that those are things that I can eventually learn, that it's going to take time to learn those things, and that like I would like to learn those things. I would like to make videos. I would like to write a novel. I would like to enter writing contests. I would like to be published in magazines. I would like to publish a poetry book. Like all the skills and the time and effort involved in that is what I feel like did not truly deter me. It's the relationship that I had with these things. Did I feel like me wanting to do that was bringing me joy? Like, did I feel like wanting to do that was something that I was doing out of the love and friendship of myself? I don't know. That's why every time I tried to do my makeup, and honestly, I got very good at. I honestly think if I tried it again, I'll be fine. The only thing that was messing me up, because I was doing it fine, was that it felt like putting lipstick on a pig. So, in having that warped perception of myself, no matter what efforts I was doing to beautify myself, nothing was truly feeling harmonious and comfortable, because I still had a preconceived notion about what all of these things meant for me. And I guess recording this video, what it was meaning for me, it was low-key reflecting back to me that I was not well versed at expressing myself verbally, that I was not well versed in just turning the camera on and like exporting some thoughts out into the world. With makeup, it was making me feel like an imposter. Like I had imposter syndrome. I was like, these lashes aren't, this is not me. Like this face is, something is wrong here. I don't feel like the woman I should be while putting the makeup on. You won't feel like the woman you should be once the makeup is all on. So for 24, and for this, especially this new moon and Cancer cycle, as we then enter eclipse season very soon. I'm pretty sure at the end of July is our first eclipse as the nodes move, which the nodes move into my 12th and 6th houses. Yay. There's definitely going to be a deeper understanding of how the things that I do and the things that I aspire to and the things that I want to do are in relation to me. My subconscious perceptions, my subconscious patterns, the way that I hold myself back, not because I don't think that I can do it, but because I think the one that even wants to do it is incongruent with who I am right now. You know? I think that's about it though. I have enjoyed this, so you will definitely be seeing my face again when I get the chance to just sit on my floor in front of my mirror and talk to the camera again. I'm also very much, and if I post this video, I will put it in the bio and stuff, but like my Substack, I'm going to be posting a lot more on, because I realize I post so inconsistently. Is the same thing we were talking about. Like I post so inconsistently because all of the things that I put up there, which is crazy looking in retrospect, because I'd be looking and I'd be reading back at my stuff and I'm like typo, error. But at the end of the day, like I feel like they have to be so polished that they have to be, you know, an essay like this. I have way too many thoughts in my head that I think are astounding and amazing and damn near life-changing that just need to be dropped somewhere than to have them sit and gather dust because they need to be something different than what they already are. And that's how I feel about myself. So, well, it's all coming full circle. The wheel of fortune has turned another notch. I am 24. Next year, I will have the brain clicky birthday, as they say. I don't know the science fully behind that. Maybe that'll change by the time I get to 25, because it seems like a lot of things change right before I reach any milestone. Thus is just being born in 2002. See you soon. Goodbye.